So YouTube, it's your boy King Say So, and I'm back with another video. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description box and follow all the channels. Hit the like button because we are on the road to 100K. With all that being said, make sure you watch the full video and subscribe so we can hit 2K. Hopefully by Monday for my birthday, man. May 29th is my birthday. Shout out to all the Geminis. Let's get right into it.
From deadly beef to million-dollar drug rings, today we're breaking down every rapper in the game who's wrapped up in a wild RICO case. Young Thug, Gunna, and the rest of the YSL crew getting hit with the RICO last year shocked everyone. Thug has been one of the most influential rappers in the game for years, and nobody expected him to get taken down like this.
Facts.
The indictment named over 20 dudes, but it's been clear from the jump that Thug is the one they really want. As soon as they all got booked, rumors started flying that he was getting snitched on by his homies. A couple low-level dudes telling to get a deal ain't too surprising, but back in December, the situation took a shocking twist. Thug and Gunna have been locked in for years, but that didn't stop Gunna from taking a plea deal and telling the court that YSL is a gang. He took an Alfred plea, which means he didn't have to admit to any crime, but knew that the state could still convict him if it went to trial. Gunna got off easy with a 5-year suspended sentence, but it came with the heavy cost. After the news broke about his plea deal, Gunna said he didn't make any statements or cooperate. People started calling cap on the story immediately because you usually don't get out of a RICO case without giving the prosecution some serious info. That's when a video leaked showing Gunna making a statement in court admitting that YSL is a gang and that he was in a car with Thug that had guns and drugs in it.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which...
I still feel like that was a setup, bro. Because it was like, bro, how did this video get out? And two, it's against the law to be I don't know if it's probably against the law, but I think it's I think you probably get like a fine or something in court or something if they catch you recording. So it's like, whoever released this video, shouldn't they have found them? You should have went to court. They should have gave you a fine. Or is it too late because it's after the fact? I don't know, but this is weird that this video got released though, bro. Like, that's still weird.
You were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
When the video came out, the whole rap game turned against Gunna. Dudes like Boosie Badass, Freddie Gibbs, and even 6ix9ine clowned him for ratting his homie out like that. Gunna allegedly flipping was wild, but the whole case has been crazy so far. One of Thug's co-defendants got caught trying to slide him a pill in the middle of the courtroom and got another charge separate from the RICO. Then one of the YSL defense lawyers was arrested in court for bringing in a bottle of prescription pills. He tried to toss his phone to another lawyer when the cops were cuffing him, but he ended up hitting the cop with it and got charged with battery too. You know it's gonna be a crazy trial when even the lawyers are getting arrested, but that's nothing compared to what happened next. Another state defense attorney working on the case says that she's thinking about starting an OnlyFans account to help pay her bills. According to her,
this case is slated to last for about a year, and if you were to do the math, it would be $6 an hour. I can't take any new cases. I can't close any cases. I need something to survive off of. And once they put those walls up, I'm thinking maybe I need to start an OnlyFans?
Getting paid around $6 an hour for one of the biggest cases in the state is crazy, but that's definitely not the last shocking thing to come out of the YSL situation. The jury selection is still going on for Thug's case, and last week, one of the potential jurors was held in contempt of court after she called the judge a bitch. And while all the drama's been entertaining, it's still a very serious situation for young Thug. Last month, his lawyer broke the news that Thug has been barely surviving on chocolate and chips behind bars. He doesn't have any sunlight, outdoor areas, or a place to exercise, and Thug has to wake up at 4 in the morning to make it to court, then doesn't get back to his cell until late at night. He's been denied bond 3 times already. But a couple weeks ago, he filed a 4th motion to be let out, and his lawyer brought up all the conditions he's dealing with. Nobody knows when the trial will finally start, but it's guaranteed to be insane. You never know what's gonna happen next in this case, so tap in for updates.
Wow,
the YSL RICO is huge right now, but this next rapper almost beat a murder charge right before getting hit with his own RICO case. Bronx drill is one of the most violent and crazy scenes in rap right now. Damn near every artist is deep in the trenches, and the music coming out of there is like Chicago drill, but more shocking and disrespectful. K-Flock took over the Bronx drill wave in 2020 and helped push it to the mainstream when he linked up with Lil TJ and Fabio Foreign. Most drill rappers don't get a lot of attention outside their city, but Flock had potential to actually hit the mainstream and make it out. K-Flock wasn't just a rapper buzzing in the industry. He's been in the streets since he was a kid and was allegedly still crazy active while his music was popping off. He reps a crew called Sevside and used to be tight with a bunch of dudes from a set called the OYs. But after his OY homie E-Dot was seen chilling with some of Sevside's ops, Flock allegedly sparked a deadly war that's still going on today. E-Dot and Flock started sending disses back and forth. And in December 2021, Flock was booked for allegedly killing E-Dot's homie Waka in the middle of the street. When the news first broke, it seemed like Flock was for sure going down for Waka's death. But more details started coming out that made it look like he had a good chance of beating the case. He even told people he'd be back home in March.
Wipe the nose of his money, I'll be back real soon. 2023 bonds, you heard like.
But then the feds came down hard and hit.
Yeah, that was weird though, bruh. It's like they knew. They was like, bruh, police put out this statement and they lied. They lied to my like I forgot what exactly they had said, but it was something wild, and it was completely false. Oh yeah. I think it was catching that body. Supposedly he walked into the barbershop and that's how they got into it. That's how he popped him. No. Because that video showed a whole nother situation than what they said. So they was like, y'all lied. And they was like, he was finna get released or at least beat that case. And then, boom, he get hit with RICO? Bro, come on, bro. Like, that don't make no sense. Like, y'all should have just hit him with that from the gate.
Left side and third side with a RICO indictment. According to the indictment, Sev and third side terrorized the Bronx and turned the whole area into a war zone between 2019 and 2022. Block's lawyer says they only hit him with the RICO because they knew the murder case against him was weak and they really wanted him off the streets. Block went from thinking he'd be home this year to facing the death penalty in a RICO case. But right now, nobody knows how it'll play out. It's obvious they don't want Flock out on the streets though. And now that he's on a case with 7 other dudes, there's a good chance at least one of them will snitch on Flock for a lighter sentence. K-Flock ain't the only New York rapper facing a RICO case though. And this next rapper could end up getting hit with a 60-year sentence for allegedly being one of the top members of a brutal set of the Bloods. Casanova's lived a wild life in the streets of New York and even met A$AP Rocky when they were both locked up on Rikers Island back in the day. When he decided to hop in the booth, people immediately connected to his raw style and bars about what it's really like in the trenches. It didn't take long for the industry to take notice, and in 2016, he signed a deal with Warehouse Music Group under Jay-Z's Roc Nation label. But instead of leaving the streets in the past, Cass stayed active and got hit with a RICO charge in 2020. Cass reps a blood set called the Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation Gang, and the prosecutor said he used his rap money to benefit the crew. At first, Casanova told fans that he was just innocent and the state was just using his past against him.
I'm innocent, that's one. 2, I've been fighting my whole life, so I'll get through this. Just understand how they can get you jammed up. You don't know nobody, you ain't got nothing to do with nothing, they still get you jammed up.
But then he ended up pleading guilty to racketeering and narcotics conspiracy charges, taking a
because at least for most of these artists, people gotta understand the way how they came up with the RICO thing, bro. First of all, they came up with the RICO thing to take down the mafias. They couldn't get the boss because he was never getting caught with nothing. They was only catching the workers, the newbies, and everybody else. So therefore, they're like, all right, we're gonna come up with this new law. So therefore, everybody who's within this crew, everybody that's within this gang, y'all all going down. Especially when you got a rapper or somebody famous that's making a lot of money, whether he's dishing money, whether he or she's dishing money to the hood or not, they go, your homies over here doing this, they gotta be doing this for you, and you doing what you doing to benefit them. So therefore, we taking all y'all together. Upcoming artists, do not start a crew. Just do you get your money, lay your bars out, and that's it. Because man, they hitting people.
He was probably the best move he can make, because it turns out that the prosecution has some pretty strong evidence against him. Someone involved with the case flipped and told the cops about Casanova accidentally letting a shot off at a poker game. And another witness said they saw Cass bringing in shipments of large quantities of marijuana. Casanova said all the claims were true. Plus, he admitted to a robbery from 2018 where a woman was recording him at a restaurant and another Gorilla Stone member choked her out. Cass took her phone too, but he told the judge that he actually picked the woman up off the floor and gave her the phone back. The prosecution tried to paint Casanova as a dangerous criminal who could crash out at any time and said he was an active, hands-on participant in the gang's senseless violence. Cass and his team try to convince everyone that he's not the person the prosecutors say he is, but it'll be a while before we know if the judge agrees or not. Casanova's sentencing keeps getting pushed back, but now he's scheduled to be in court on June 27th. One of his co-defendants got hit with a 20-year sentence in August, but Casanova's facing even more time. If the judge decides Casanova is really as dangerous as the prosecution says, he could hit him with a 60-year sentence. Hopefully that's not how it goes down though. Cass already admitted that he's on suicide watch and has attempted it a couple times when he was a teenager. No matter what happens in his case, hopefully Cass gets the help he needs to deal with all the stress weighing on him right now. Casanova went down right when it looked like his career was going to hit a new level. But this next rapper went from making certified diamond hits to facing life in prison. Fetty Wap went diamond and earned 2 Grammy nominations for his massive hit Trap Queen. He had a few more hits in the mid-2010s, but he couldn't keep the momentum up and jumped straight into the streets to keep his pockets full. Even though his career wasn't popping off like back in the day, Fetty was still booking shows. He had a spot in the lineup for Rolling Loud New York in 2021, but before he took the stage, the police booked him and 5 other dudes in a RICO case for running a massive drug ring. During the raid, the cops found cocaine, heroin, fentanyl pills, and 5 guns. According to the police, Fetty was a kilogram level seller and wasn't the one actually running everything. What's wild about the case is that one of the other dudes who got taken down was a corrections officer named Anthony Sinye. Sinye was booked on a different trafficking case back in 2020 but was released on bond. Then a year later, he got taken down again with Fetty Wap and the others. Rumors say that Sinye's been working with the feds ever since he was arrested in 2020, and that he's the one who gave the cops info on Fetty and the rest of the crew. Fetty got out of jail on a $500K bond a month after the takedown. He was facing life in prison because of how much weight their crew was moving. Then last year, the situation got even worse for him. Even though he was wrapped in a RICO case, Fetty couldn't lay low for a bit and allegedly pulled out a gun and threatened to kill a dude on FaceTime. Somebody recorded the call and sent it to the feds, so Fetty's bond was revoked and he's been behind bars ever since. At first, he pleaded not guilty to all of the charges, but in August, he changed his mind and pleaded guilty. He's still facing a minimum of 5 years in prison, but 5 years is nothing compared to a life sentence he could have been hit with if he took the case to trial. His sentencing was supposed to go down in March, but apparently it was delayed, so tap in for updates when the news breaks. Young Thug's RICO case is making all the headlines right now, but he probably would have never been locked up if he didn't get involved in the deadly war with this next artist. YFN Lucci is a rapper from Atlanta that almost linked up with Young Thug and his YSL crew. They had a lot of mutual friends in the industry and could have put on for the city together. But in 2015, a shocking death rocked the city and sparked a wild beef between their crews. The alleged claims are that Thug and YSL killed Lucci's homie Big Nut, and after that, everyone in Atlanta had to pick a side. The beef caused a huge wave of violence in the city, but Lucci ended up getting hit with a murder charge for something totally different. In 2021, he was booked for sliding into op territory with other YFN affiliates and letting off shots at them. Lucci was allegedly driving the whip, and the ops fired back and killed his homie James Adams. That's when they say Lucci and the other dudes in the car pushed James out and left him dead in the street. He got out on house arrest, but then the situation got way worse for Lucci.
This be my thing, bro. It's like, once you become well known, no matter if the whole world know you or not, once 1 million people know you, bro, it's over for trying to do any type of crime, bro. Your face is known. So when they get a glance at your face, oh, that's Lucci. Oh, that's Lucci. Like, that's Thug. Like, come on, bro. Like, you gotta be way smarter than that. The phone call thing. You already know you are somebody famous. Who's not finna record this? Even if it's me right now, bro, you call my phone right now, I'm recording it. Bro, I'm on the phone with Lucci. I'm on the phone with like, come on, bro. You gotta be smarter than that.
A couple of months later, he was tied to a 105-count RICO case that claims he linked up with a rapper named CP3 to bring a bunch of blood sets together and run the streets. Facing a murder case on top of the RICO was bad enough, but Lucci was almost stabbed to death in jail before his trial even started. When Lucci got locked up for the second time, YSL affiliates allegedly caught him lacking in jail and stabbed him. It's rumored a dude named J-Man is allegedly one of the guys who attacked him, and the prosecutors in Thug's case say that his homies Big Briss and Antonio Sumlin asked Thug for the green light to take Lucci out. Thug has a lot of people allegedly flipping on him right now, and in December, rumors started flying that Lucci was going to be a witness in his trial too. People started dragging him for working with the feds, but his lawyer jumped in and squashed the rumors and said Lucci isn't going to testify. Lucci's trial was supposed to start around the same time as Thug's, but now it looks like he won't go to court until the YSL trial is over. Their cases are closely tied to each other, and the prosecutors in Thug's trial are even using lyrics where he allegedly bragged about getting Lucci's mom's house shot up. In 2016, her house got hit up twice in the same week, but luckily nobody was seriously hurt. After it went down, Thug dropped the track Bad Boy and said, "I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. You say you want smoke, and I've been coming down the chimney. You gotta barbecue your I'm so fried and they crispy. I had on Margellas when I shot at the act like you want war, and they're gonna smoke you like a blunt." It might be more than a year before Thug's trial is over, but you never know what'll happen in these wild cases, so tap in for updates while they develop. Hood Rich Pablo Juan knew all the major rappers in Atlanta before he ever hopped in a booth. He came up moving weight in the streets and was the plug for a lot of artists. But back then, he was making so much money in the trenches that he never even thought about getting into the industry. But after the cops allegedly kicked Pablo's door down and robbed him, he decided to switch up how he moved and listen to everyone who told him he should rap.
Even though that might sound crazy, the pigs that got me too, bro. Got me for $900, bro. It was crazy, bro. I still miss that. You know, it was years ago. I still miss that money, man. Make sure you go follow my vlog channel. I did do a story time on that. Man, bro, that's crazy. They really be getting people, bro.
He went on a crazy mixtape run and ended up signing with Gucci Mane, but the momentum didn't last and he ended up right back in the streets. It's not clear exactly how everything went down, but in 2020 the news broke that he was involved with a RICO case. According to the cops, Pablo's from the Rolling 20 neighborhood Bloods, and the indictment took down 46 other dudes with Pablo. They were booked on everything from assault, robbery, and murder charges, and Pablo was allegedly involved with the death of Lil Baby's friend, Lil Marlo. Marlo was found dead on the road after his car was shot up over 100 times, and rumors say that a gun registered in Pablo's name was found at the scene. There wasn't any evidence to back it up though, and Pablo was never named in Marlo's case. RICO cases are almost impossible to beat, but Pablo's situation turned out better than anyone expected. He ended up pleading guilty to 1 racketeering charge and got hit with a 15-year sentence, but he only has to serve 5 and the rest will be suspended. Plus, the judge gave him time served, so if Pablo keeps his head down and stays out of trouble, he could come back home within a couple of years. Pablo's case worked out pretty well for him, but this next rapper could end up spending decades behind bars after pleading guilty in a crazy RICO case. Sue Surf came up in Jersey banging a Rolling 60s Crip set called the Silverback Gorillas and went to jail for the first time at 18. After some OGs inside said he should take music seriously and leave the streets behind, Surf got out and jumped straight into the battle rap scene. He started competing in the Ultimate Rap Battle League and gained respect from everyone in the industry from the jump because he almost never lost. Surf took it even further and started dropping his own projects and touring with Joe Budden. But at the same time, he was still deep in the trenches and caught a murder charge in 2017. Surf allegedly shot at a Rolling 47 neighborhood crib after his homie got hit up, but he ended up beating the charge and got out in 2018. He barely survived a shooting that left him with 37 stitches right after he came home. And then in 2019, he caught another gun charge and went back to jail. After that case, he stayed out of jail for a few years. But in October 2022, he tweeted that he would probably never see a stage again. Nobody knew what was going on. But a week later, the feds ran down on him at his house and Surf tried to escape out the back door. The cops had him surrounded though. So Surf and a woman who was with him went back inside and had a standoff with the police. A crisis team had to come through and sort things out, and luckily Surf surrendered before anything serious went down. He was booked with 9 other SBG affiliates who were accused of murder, robbery, and selling drugs, and Surf allegedly used IG to set up the deals. He pleaded not guilty to everything at first and was going to take it to trial, but then rumors started flying that his OG had flipped and was snitching on Surf. It's not clear if the rumors were true, but in April, Surf ended up pleading guilty to racketeering conspiracy and possessing firearms and ammunition as a felon. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but the racketeering charge could get him 20 years, and the gun charge could cost him 10 years in prison if he's given the maximum time. Surf had the opportunity to leave the streets after going to prison, getting shot, and beating a murder case, but instead he stayed loyal to his gang and could now end up spending the next 30 years behind bars. Chef G helped kick off the Brooklyn drill wave with the track No Suburban, and his homie Sleepy Hollow ended up becoming another one of the hottest rappers in the scene. Both of them have been fighting cases for the last couple of years, but they were supposed to be free and link up again in the studio soon. They still had a ton of momentum in the game and could have taken over together, but now they're facing a crazy RICO case that sounds like something out of a movie. The Brooklyn DA hit Chef, Sleepy, and 30 other alleged members of the A-Tray Cribs and 9 Ways gang with a 140-count RICO indictment. They're accused of using almost 40 guns during a dozen shootings, and Chef was allegedly involved with at least one of them. The DA said
Chef G used a lot of the money that he earned to help facilitate further gang activity. He encouraged gang members to participate in violent crimes.
During one shooting, a dude named Kamandre Takatsu allegedly popped out of a sunroof and started dumping shots while his homies inside the whip were shooting out of the windows. They allegedly killed a Folk Nation affiliate named Theodore Sr., but that's not even the craziest part of the story. According to the indictment, Chef hosted a dinner party 2 days later with a bunch of A-Tray and 9 Way affiliates, including Sleepy Hollow, to celebrate Senior's death. Him and his sister have both been charged with conspiracy to commit murder. But Chef didn't just reward his homies for committing murder. He was allegedly active in the streets right there with them too. Back in April 2021, he allegedly drove some shooters into op territory where they opened fire and hit 2 innocent bystanders. Then, just a couple of months later, a bunch of A-Trays allegedly kidnapped one of their own dudes who had betrayed Chef. They caught him on the street and stomped him out, then shoved him into a car and drove him to a cemetery. They allegedly pulled him out of the whip and started stomping him again, but that's when the cops rolled through and saved him. Chef and Sleepy Hollow had the chance to leave the street drama and really blow up in the industry, but now they're facing decades in prison in one of the craziest rap RICO cases yet. More details will be dropping soon, so tap in for updates on the situation.
Yeah, he was out here being reckless, boy. Make sure you like and subscribe. Catch you next video.